Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Irampour, and here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you have asked us about, and we're looking for solutions. We want to start here today with the state and local effort to promote safety on our streets. California's daylighting law, you know that one? It went into effect January 1st. So this means it's now illegal to park within 20 feet of a crosswalk. The purpose here to make it easier for drivers to see pedestrians. In the city of San Diego, the grace period is now over, and we now know that more than 4,000 tickets have been issued in the past 2 months. CBS 8's Steve Price working for you in Normal Heights, where more than 100 tickets have already been issued there.
Driving down Polk Avenue in Normal Heights, you notice it right away. Parking is at a premium, and it's not just here.
It's really bad. It's really bad. There's not a lot of room for anybody to be here.
Zach Gilman lives nearby in North Park and has already gotten 2 daylighting parking tickets.
If it was like a normal, parking ticket, like $30, I wouldn't really mind, but 100 twice in like a week was crazy.
Actually, $117. The state law went into effect January 1st, making it illegal to park within 20 feet of a crosswalk on the side of the street that faces the crosswalk. Simply put, if the front of your car faces the crosswalk, you have to leave a 20-foot buffer zone. If the rear of your car faces the crosswalk, you don't. But even today on Polk Avenue, where over 115 tickets have already been issued, we saw several cars not leaving that 20-foot buffer zone.
People have been told that they should, but people don't listen to because people haven't got the sense that God gave a goose.
The reason for the law is safety. It gives drivers more of a clearing to see pedestrians like Alex Ho and his dogs Fern and Luna.
I think anything that makes pedestrians more visible to cars is generally a good thing. I understand that some people think North Park has a lot of parking problems, but I think it's also a very walkable neighborhood that I walk around a lot in, and so I appreciate any measures that help keep pedestrians safe.
The city has already issued over 4,300 tickets, with the majority of them in Normal Heights, North Park, and the beach communities. And consider yourself warned, you can still get a ticket even if the curb isn't painted red.
A lot of the places aren't really marked clearly. They say it could be unpainted and you could still get a ticket for it.
Steve Price, CBS 8.
Yeah, you're going to have to know what 20 feet looks like to make sure you're not parking in those spots. Local leaders and residents in University City are demanding changes at the intersection of El Cajon Boulevard, Park Boulevard, and Normal Street. You know that spot where it all comes together? Many say this tangle of lights, signs, and lanes are pretty confusing in University Heights, not University City. Councilmember Stephen Whitburn has created a petition asking the Transportation Department to conduct a study for design changes. People we spoke with in the area have mixed feelings.
Definitely needs to change. I've seen plenty of people go down the wrong way and have to drive over the median, and there's been countless times that I've seen people almost get in an accident.
I don't think it's like a pressing issue because people are probably used to it by now that are around here a lot. I feel like the money might be better off somewhere else, like addressing the potholes.
Yeah, you got some different perspectives there. The petition is nearing its initial goal of 1,000 signatures. Right now, there are concerns about growing encampments and piles of trash right near Balboa Park, just steps away, in fact, from one of the City of San Diego's designated safe sleeping sites. CBS 8's Brian White taking a closer look at the conditions in that area and working for you to find out what's being done to address this.
It's no way to live. It looks like a third world country.
A viewer reached out to us about all the trash and encampments here near Balboa Park.
I've seen fires there. There is so much trash, and I know a lot of it is human waste.
She did not want to go on camera, but says these issues are plaguing the neighborhood here around the city's safe sleeping sites.
If they're going to put that there, can they at least manage the surrounding areas? Like, why does our neighborhood get, 2 tent cities and all the encampments around it?
These encampments here are set up near the O-Lot safe sleeping site. They're outside the fence next to the I-5 freeway and Pershing Drive.
You look to the right and to the left, you see 2 tent cities and you see encampments and trash everywhere. It's like, this is the heart of San Diego. And that's what people get to look at when they're going to these tourist areas.
This is on Caltrans property, so I reached out to them. They say they're aware of the issue and they're putting it on the schedule to be cleaned.
The question is, well, why is this happening? Why are we falling down in this way?
I spoke to State Senator Catherine Blakespear. She's got a new bill in the works, SB 569, that's looking to foster more cooperation between Caltrans and local cities to manage encampments on state property. She says the city receives 300 complaints a month that they can't do anything about.
My bill is aimed at directly that place where we're falling down, to say cities and the state, get your acts together, link arms, and solve this problem. And Caltrans needs to know you have the authority to delegate this, and we want it dealt with.
The bill also aims to set up a process for negotiation over cost and how or if Caltrans would reimburse local governments for cleanup services. It passed the Transportation Committee last month and should come to the floor of the state Senate for another vote in June. Working for you, Brian White, CBS 8.
Something we'll continue to follow up for you. A local nonprofit dedicated to rescuing rabbits now fighting back against a suspected scammer. There's a Facebook page where they say they're trying to impersonate the San Diego House Rabbit Society through its branding. It's also apparently trying to target victims. CBS 8's Richard Allen working for you on this story to show us the red flags that we should all watch out for.
Well, that's right. San Diego House Rabbit Society helps save hundreds of bunnies every year. But its leaders say they believe someone is now using their logo, their mission, and a phony social media account to scam unsuspecting animal lovers out of their hard-earned money.
It was heartbreaking.
Jennifer Lee is executive director of San Diego House Rabbit Society, a nonprofit dedicated to rescuing, adopting out, and educating the public about rabbits since 1992. She was devastated when a supporter forwarded her this Facebook page using her organization's logo.
But it wasn't us. And it had photos that are clearly not part of a rescue mission. They were, it looked like a meat factory for rabbits.
A site calling itself San Diego's Bunny that's apparently trying to sell rabbits for hundreds of dollars, using San Diego House Rabbit Society's branding to do so.
It felt that they were stealing from us.
Using a reverse image search, it quickly became clear this account uses photos from other websites readily available on the internet. A supporter reached out to San Diego's Bunny to try to get more information.
And they said that they will charge them $300 for a rabbit if they PayPal, Zelle, or Bitcoin them.
There are a number of red flags in the text exchange, including spelling and grammar errors, vague answers, and pressure to send money. At one point, the supposed location somewhere in Northern California turns to North Carolina. Lee tried to get Meta, the parent company of Facebook, to take down the suspected bogus site, but Meta responded that the page doesn't go against our community standards.
For legitimate organizations that are doing the hard work, it puts a damper on the work that we're doing.
She's now also appealing to the FCC as well as the county to warn them of the suspected scam. She also hopes that this doesn't have a chilling effect on future supporters or donors.
We don't want people to get scared of supporting organizations, not even just our organization, the other small rescues out there that need the support too.
Richard Allen, CBS 8.
Oh, and aren't those bunnies so adorable? Coming up next, concerns about what's coming out of the tap. Why some San Diegans may have noticed that chlorine taste or smell and how to get rid of it. Plus, scammers have found a way to steal your information with a gift on your doorstep. We're going to show you how to avoid making a costly mistake. Welcome back here. Have you tasted or smelled chlorine in your tap water recently? Some people in Pacific Beach and in the La Jolla area have noticed a chemical flavor in their water, and they didn't know why it was happening or when it'll go away, so they reached out to us. Working for you, CBS 8 then reached out to the city. A spokesperson says chlorine is normal and essential to treat our water, and it is regularly added to local reservoirs, which are monitored weekly. After a recent inspection, the city added more chlorine to the Bayview Reservoir. That's to maintain its water quality. During that time, some people in areas served by that reservoir, which would include PB and La Jolla, may have noticed a stronger chlorine smell or taste.
Noticed it had a funky kind of a chlorine smell and a tinge of a chlorine type of a taste. And this was, I would say, within a week ago.
The city says chlorine levels never went above regulated limits, and crews flushed some lines downstream as part of this adjustment. If the chlorine is still noticeable in your home, your tap water, then they suggest you use a carbon filter that can help clean it out. You can also try flushing cold water taps for 5 to 10 minutes, which can help clear out chlorine odor from your plumbing. A dangerous new twist involving unwanted packages delivered to your doorstep. We all get so many, right? Well, fraudsters are working to steal your identity with just one scan from your phone. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you, explaining how a QR code may cost you.
Of these
wireless earbuds, phone chargers, even sink caddies, they're showing up uninvited on doorsteps across the country.
I have encountered these things. It's junk, and it's just deserves to go into the recycle bin.
It starts with what's called brushing, where something arrives at your home in what looks like legitimate packaging.
Even if it's not truly from Amazon or a recognizable retailer, that's very easy to spoof.
To better understand what a brushing scam is, I talked to Identity Theft Resource Center CEO Eva Velasquez, a nonprofit that provides resources to scam victims.
A brushing scam is where the thieves are ordering products using your name, in your name, or to you without your knowledge.
I learned it's about boosting sales. Overseas sellers buy their own products through fake accounts, ship to real addresses, then post glowing reviews. But now there's a dangerous twist: QR codes.
That QR code can be inside the package in a letter. It could be a sticker on the box. It could be a sticker on the product. It really could appear anywhere.
They're calling it quishing, where I found curiosity can cost you.
They didn't order them. They can't imagine that someone is sending them as a gift. But there's a QR code included in the package. It says, for more information, scan this code.
Scan that code, malware downloads, fake banking sites appear, and your identity gets swiped.
And if that information, enough of it, is in the hands of someone else, they can impersonate you.
Do not respond or do not scan the QR codes.
I spoke to U.S. Postal Inspector Patricia Mendoza, who's on alert.
You go ahead and follow up and do an investigation, but at this point, the best course of action is probably reporting it.
Report suspicious packages to spam at USPS.gov, and don't be embarrassed if you've been targeted.
Get the help that you need, because there's no shame and embarrassment in not understanding all the ins and outs of this complicated space. Treat QR codes the same way we do links in emails or text messages.
Quishing, that's a new term now that I've now learned. That was Abby Black reporting on that important information. A spokesperson for Amazon tells us if they find bad actors violating any policies, they will suspend selling privileges, withhold payments, and report them to law enforcement, which is why if you become a victim, it's important to speak up about it. Up next, Paradise at a Price. We speak with an expert about why the classic formula to buy a home simply won't work in San Diego. You are looking at an eye-opening demonstration. Yeah, this is just a demonstration by CalFire, and it's highlighting the difference preparation can make. So crews there deliberately setting fire to two nearly identical structures. One was built with fire-safe materials. It had defensible space. The other left exposed. Within minutes, flames engulfed the unprotected structure with its wood siding. It had vinyl gutters, flammable mulch laid right up to the walls.
Fire comes and invades the community. What can you do? And what you see behind me is exactly that. One of these structures fully engulfed, and the other side that had just as much fire surrounding it is still standing.
Yeah, look at the difference. Still standing right there. This fire-resilient home features fiber cement siding, 5 feet of non-combustible space around it, so no mulch. CalFire hopes the demonstration will motivate homeowners, especially those of you with older homes, to make critically safe upgrades there to that defensible space especially. Wow. There may finally be a break in a troubling wildlife crisis along our coast. For weeks, we have been reporting that this domoic acid in the algae blooms has made these sea lions, whales, dolphins, so many other marine animals sick. Some have even died, including many birds like pelicans. So now new data suggests the levels of domoic acid in our oceans off of Southern California are starting to drop. Yes, glad to see the numbers going down. Experts say this could be associated with our recent weather.
Having a change in weather, which is something I was hoping. The rain and the movement of water associated with storms often does break up a bloom, and we're certainly seeing that now after the weekend storm.
Yeah, this past weekend, that rainy weather helped out. Over the last 2 months, SeaWorld San Diego has taken in 64 affected sea lions, more than 50 pelicans, and 6 dolphins. Now they say the number of sick animals coming in is down to a couple per week. Putting 20% down to buy a house and not spending more than 30% of your income on housing, that was the game plan in the past for home buyers. That was the advice we all got. But those numbers are not working anymore in San Diego. 20% of these homes, that's a lot. CBS 8's David Gottfredson shows us how our paradise comes at a price.
Housing is just really expensive in San Diego, and it's a serious problem for households.
With the median home price in San Diego County hovering around $900,000, it may take up to 29 years to save up enough money for a down payment, according to a new study by the credit firm Upgraded Points. Another recent study by Realtor.com says San Diego is the 4th most expensive market in the nation, meaning you would have to make more than $258,000 per year to afford a median-priced house.
That is what it costs to buy the median-priced home in San Diego.
USD economics professor Alan Jin says first-time buyers can always take aim at lower-priced homes or condos, making payments more affordable.
You know, that's the traditional way that people have navigated the housing market. They start off low, with a low-cost house, and they built up equity and traded up.
In coastal cities like San Diego, Jen says, moving up the chain makes sense.
I'm pretty confident that if you buy property in San Diego or other parts of coastal California, in the long term, it's going to be higher in terms of prices. Again, people want to live here.
The traditional formula to home buying was to put 20% down to avoid private mortgage insurance costs and to keep your mortgage payments around 30% of your income. But that's becoming more difficult.
In a high housing cost area like San Diego, you might have to exceed that 30% guideline.
Jin says another option is to rely on your parents.
Increasingly, people are holding on to their homes with the idea that they're going to leave them to their kids. And that might be the only way then that their kids are going to be able to afford to live in a place like San Diego.
The other thing that can make housing more affordable is lower interest rates, currently around 7% for a 30-year mortgage. That economist tells me it's possible interest rates could go down later this year, but it's hard to predict the economy. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
On that note, that's going to do it for us. Remember, if there's something you want us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. We will see you next time.